All right, Dave. How are you?
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to Fortune's Hiding Down Under TV. We're in the Pig and Whistle, Riverside, Brisbane. I'm here with Dave. It's Monday. How have you been? All right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good weekend.
Busy weekend. And
they always fucking are, aren't they?
Yeah.
But we didn't get beat.
We didn't, surprisingly.
Yeah. And look, I personally feel there's a fair bit to talk about from the game. So we'll get straight into it. First of all, we said on Thursday that we would take a draw, and
we did. 100%.
And I am still thinking it's a really positive result that we've had. So we'll get into it. What were your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you my night.
Yeah.
I was laid in bed at 11 o'clock. Decided not to watch it.
Yeah.
I was awake, got up to go to the toilet, and I'm still awake. It's about to start in 5 minutes.
Was that before or after you saw the team sheet?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't even look at it. I'm like, well, it's five to midnight, I might as well watch it. So I'm back to my TV, fucking around, and someone's pulled the bloody cable out the back of my Apple TV, so I'm fiddling with that.
Yeah.
I get in, Optus up, and then fucking Brentford players celebrating. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
It's the third game in a row they've scored in the first minute. That's fucking insane.
They're not getting wins on the board though, are they?
No.
So that's not working for them either, is it?
And it was a good goal as well, wasn't it?
It was a great goal watching it back. As I say, I missed it live and I was thinking, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
And I was pretty grumpy from that point.
I saw there was a couple of comments that I read fucking slagging to Debo off for the header. I don't know what else he could have done. You can't legislate for what happens after that. I don't know what people expected him to put it over the bar or put it out of play.
It was a fantastically taken goal, wasn't it?
It was fucking lucky, but it wasn't lucky because it was a great goal. But
he plays well against us, doesn't he?
He really does. He really does. Yeah, well, I was debating whether to stay up and watch it because I'd had a few drinks.
I don't
watch the City Newcastle game, and then the team sheet came out. And I thought, fucking hell, here we go again. But no, I stayed up, contemplating going to bed after the first minute. But from the first half for me was shite. I think there was no. We just didn't look like a team, did we?
No, and I think a lot of people have commented about Kudus sub. Now I'm reading between I'm more than reading between the lines.
Yeah.
J-Lo has pretty much said I took him off because he wasn't playing as a team player. Not those words, but if you read what he said, and when I think about what I was watching, Kudus was doing what he does well, taking on players, and I hope we don't stamp that out of him because what he's really good at is strength in running and beating players.
Yeah.
I guess it's his decision once he's beaten the players was to scuff a fucking shot rather than look up and see if a teammate had joined the attack, or as opposed to when he was connecting well with the likes of Paquetá and Bowen previously.
Yeah. I don't mind it at all. And one of the things I was going to make sure that I said was whether it proves to be right or wrong in the long run. I quite like J-Lo's approach with substitutions and the fact that he obviously doesn't give a fuck. He's got, I think after knowing the little that I know about him, what happened with Spain and what happened with Wolves, he's obviously not afraid to fucking piss people off, which can be a bad thing, but it can also be a fucking good thing as well. So if he did take him off because for those reasons, fair enough. But you don't want to piss Kudus off and have him leave. But if it gets a reaction, then it works well, doesn't it?
Exactly right, and that's where I'm at with it. Right, I hope to God that doesn't ruin the relationship with him. Yeah, and I hope he takes it in a positive light. And if he improves his game on the back of it, you're happy. Yeah. If he stops and goes, I want the fuck out of here, then you've devalued what's probably worth 100 million at the end of last season down to about 26 probably.
And if we're being harsh though, he's not doing it this season. Kudus. I know there's reasons for that, and he's still probably been our best player in a few of the games.
Yeah. He's having a go.
He is. But I mean, I watched him that first half, and to like you said, he was doing what he does, but he wasn't making things happen. You know, and you expect if a player is that good with the right attitude and everything. You expect them to be the ones to be the catalyst for something, like him, like Paquetá, who was shit as well first half. He was fucking driving me insane. So they're the players, and that's, I suppose, is the difference between, you know, a real world class player and somebody with potential. And Kudus has definitely got the potential, but maybe he does need to be fucking knocked down a peg or two to get the reaction. I don't know. It might be the worst thing he could have fucking done, but I don't mind him mixing it up and ruffling a few feathers. And the substitutions showed that throughout the game. Even his team selection, he's obviously not bothered about what we're saying or what anyone else is saying. And again, we'll come to it. You know, Tommy turned up with the goods. Antonio again was shit. He just does enough. It's not, no. And if he's going to play that role, we really need him to be, you know,
looking after the ball.
Yeah, and he's not even doing that anymore. I know him and Bowen seemed to keep swapping in the first half. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Or whether I was too pissed.
Yeah, and it seemed like, you know, if you're centre forward, why are you drifting wide all the time? It was. It didn't look cohesive, did it? I think is how Kingy put it. Yeah, it ain't firing, is it?
No, it's not. But to be honest, I never thought we were out of the game.
No,
at any point.
We never were.
You know, I know it's only one goal, so technically you're not out of the game. But we've seen plenty of 1-0s where you just know we're not. It's a matter of time before it's 2-0, 3-0.
Even that first half, we created a hell of a lot more opportunities than they had.
We did,
and we were trying to give it to them. And I guess my little disappointment in taking Kudus off was Kudus looked like the one that wanted to make it happen. Whether he was doing it in a team-like way or an individual way is debatable. Mm-hmm. And it seemed on the face of it, he's the only one that actually looked like making something happen. But you go, well, the replacement that come in for him, Soler, plays that beautiful ball through. Mm-hmm. Super Tommy Soucek played a couple of nice little tick-tack 1-2s.
I don't think I realised until the following day when I watched it back how good a goal it was. Yeah. I think the fact Antonio fucked his shot takes away from what was
it makes it look like a fucking lucky goal.
It was fucking amazing. Yeah. The subs that came on. We'll go back a little bit because I'm trying to remember everything that happened. So Kudus went off at half time, didn't he? Did Emerson go off at half time as well, or was he already off? I think he went off at half time.
Did he?
Yeah, because he brought Mavropanos on at right back and put Wan-Bissaka over on the left.
Yeah, okay. Emerson had a mare.
He was
had
terrible.
An absolute mare. It's the worst I've seen him. He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was. He was terrible. And I was looking at the sub and I thought, fair enough, Wan-Bissaka's played on the left and played well. Mavropanos over Soufal coming on at right back. And you know what my thoughts are on Mavropanos.
He did alright, didn't he?
I thought he was fucking great.
Yeah.
I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, he did.
He was. I don't know. I felt a lot more comfortable with him at right back than at centre half as well. So
yeah, I think it's always if you make a mistake in the middle, it's usually a fucking a goal, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That was. I found that quite promising, and he's obviously trying things. We said at the start of the season, you can't really judge him till he's had 10 games. Yep. Well, we're up to 6 now. I still think he hasn't got a clue who he starts at.
Not hasn't got a clue.
No.
He doesn't know who his best 11
He might not have a clue, genuinely. Like he might, but I think that it's too early to determine that. But I think he's still very much experimenting.
I do, and I don't think it's the same as a starting 11 under Moyes, right? Because those players under Moyes are going to play for at least 85 minutes.
Yeah. We've had the most substitutions in the Premier League so far.
So I think he plays a different game from that perspective, and he's thinking about starters and finishers. Well, you start a game and you don't finish the half well, you're going to get hooked. So the incentive is there to actually make an account of yourself. We get grumpy at Souček being in the side. He started this game, he stayed on for the whole game. He started the Fulham game, had a fucking mare. Again, he was hooked. So it's not going to be the stubborn poor performance after poor performance and you're just going to get a gift of a start and you're going to stay on the pitch. It's like you can have a start, but you need to make an account of yourself. And I hope he's watching Antonio because
I was just going to say that because what you said makes sense. I was going to say, how do you explain Antonio?
Well,
because that's the one I'm Souček. I get. You can argue. We've said our piece about Souček, but you can't argue with him getting games. Antonio's a different one. Unless he is just wanting him to go in there and
he was dropped against Chelsea, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, so he's had a go at dropping. He had a go at dropping Souček. Yeah. We weren't. The problem is we played Chelsea without Antonio Souček, and we weren't much caught.
No, we weren't.
No. So it's like I don't know. I'm in two minds, right? Why he sees an error, he fixes it, which is great. But why are so many players having a fucking mare at the moment? I mean, Emerson was fucking consistent as hell.
He was terrible.
There was a point where Paquetá, if he wasn't in our side, we weren't any good.
Yeah.
Now he's in our side and we're not any good.
I thought Rodriguez wasn't great.
No, he showed up his lack of pace. I think usually with his touch and his intelligent passing, he makes up with that. But he looks slow and off the boil.
What do you think of Tadibo?
I like him.
Yeah, I like him.
He needs to start, and he needs to get minutes under his belt and get up there.
He reminded me a bit of young Rio. The way he moves around. I thought he looked. I mean, he's not. He's obviously not the finished product, but he looks classy.
Juventus wanted him. He can't be that bad.
No, he can't be that bad. And I was thinking. Because historically J-Lo's liked a back three, and you look at we've had Mavropanos at right back, Wan-Bissaka out on the left. You've got Kilman, Mavropanos, Tadibo. Whether there's a future back three out of any three of those five, potentially.
Yeah, Cresswell can play in a centre back left-sided role.
Yeah. But there's a lot of options. I thought Soler was good when he came on. Somerville was good.
That was the one thing actually I couldn't stomach with the starting lineup.
Somerville not playing.
Given how well Somerville's playing, I can't understand why he didn't start.
So who was out on the left? Kudus? No. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and Bowen on the right. Yeah, and Paquetá in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he looked at Chelsea and thought we missed Souček and Antonio. I don't know. A lot of people are saying the other way, aren't they? I don't know. Souček's a funny one, isn't he?
Well, say it again. I love the guy. I love the guy. I love Antonio. They are fantastic players, fantastic servants. Antonio, I don't want to see him starting. Souček, you cannot argue that he just keeps doing it over and over again, doesn't he? He's our leading scorer in the league.
Yep.
He just pops up.
Finds a way.
He finds a way. And he's done it. It's not just like little purple patches that he has, because he has 3 or 4 purple patches a season.
Yeah.
So what do you do with him?
I don't know. He's no margin for error with the fans, has he?
No.
You have a good game. The next game he's poor.
Yeah.
They just rip him on.
But I think one of the biggest arguments, and I've said it myself, is that we've got better players at the club now.
True.
But if those better players are on the pitch and they're not doing it, and he is, then there's no reason that we shouldn't be picking him.
And therein lies the problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some of our players, and I probably include Bowen in that. The last couple of games, I don't think he's done anything spectacular. They're not playing badly, but I think they need to do a bit more. And you don't know is it the lack of cohesion? Is it not knowing, the players that are playing around them? Is it not knowing each other's game? Is it just a case of time? Because if it is, you've got to be patient. By the sounds of it, if what you're saying about Kudus was a conscious decision on Kudus' part to, have a bit of a sulk and not play as a team. I'm only speculating. I don't know if that's the case. You don't need that. Yeah. And you actually need players like Souček. I
don't know if it was a sulk or if it was just the aspersion that he wasn't playing a team game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pure rumour that Kudus has got any kind of issue with it.
Yeah.
No one knows what Kudus' reaction was. But I think that was the reason he was hooked, was because he was going off down dark alleys on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it is a strange one. You do have to speculate the substitution, don't you? Because it's not one that anybody would have seen coming, unless he was injured. So
no, you probably looked at that first half and go, well, one person that is trying is good.
Yeah. But then we've ended up with a point at a place that we never get anything.
Yeah.
We're unbeaten in the league away from home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not to be sniffed at as an achievement. And we've lost 3 at home, but we've lost against 3 teams that will be up there in the top 6.
Can I ask you a question? Do you understand J-Lo's game plan? Because I'm lost. I don't think we're stuck in the middle. Like we're moving our back line up high.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you're playing a pressing game and so we're not really. There was never really any pressing in that game. We tried to press Chelsea and they just fucking cut through us like a hot knife through butter. Absolutely tore us a new arsehole. But it's like, well, if you're going to push your defenders up, invite mistakes, and not do that attacking role, what's the point? You're kind of caught in you're sandwiched very sort of in the middle of the field and no productivity at the top and risky at the back.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what, and I think that this could, we're talking about the players and who do you put where. I actually think he needs to figure out what he wants to do and then see which players fit into it and which players are playing well enough to fit into it. Because I don't understand what the plan is. And I think that was very, very evident in the first half. Second half, it was still evident. Like, we still didn't really have a plan. We were playing better and we looked sharper and we had a bit more about us. But we still didn't have a clear plan on what we were trying to do.
No, there's a lot of headless chickens around, weren't there?
Yeah.
We were creating opportunities, but they were sort of half-arsed opportunities, I call them. There's no really, that moment we should definitely have scored, and that moment, well, we should have.
Yeah.
It's like, it's sort of half chances, a lot of half chances.
I hate to keep harping back to Antonio, but when you pick him and you put him in the middle, there's only really one way that you can use that player in the middle.
Yeah.
And it does restrict you and it does limit you.
Mate, fucking talking about Antonio, first half, where Bowen bursts in, Antonio gets in his way and scuffs a fucking shot. You remember that one?
When he put it wide?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Took it off his toes,
I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, please get out of Bowen's way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, get out of Bowen's way, because Bowen's going to fucking run through on that and fucking smash it in the back of the net tonight. And like,
fucking frustrating.
What are you doing?
And then Danny Ings came on, didn't it, after standing on the sideline for about 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if it was right, but I'm sure the commentator said he'd been stood there for fucking 8 minutes or something, just waiting to come on. But at least he got on, not like the time Moyes made him go stand there and they fucked him off.
Or put him on in the 89th minute. And,
so, look, all in all, second half, I actually was slightly disappointed we didn't go on to win it.
Yeah, we were the more likely team to win it at that point.
Absolutely. And I was happy with the draw. I would have been happy before. I'm happy now.
Yeah.
It really sets us up. The Ipswich game is going to be massive, and if we get the 3 points there, suddenly we're back mid-table. 8 points, we're sort of back in the mix again.
And I was saying that that's a must-win. If you don't beat Ipswich at home, you're in all problems. But they looked all right yesterday.
They're unbeaten in 4. They've drawn 4 in a row. I only heard that in the car on the way
I didn't
in.
know that either.
So they've lost the first game lost the first 2 and then drawn 4.
Drawn 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
And from what I saw yesterday, they looked all right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard that they matched Villa around some.
I mean, you've got to fancy us to win it. You've got to be confident that we will. And I think it's probably going to be a pivotal game, isn't it? Hopefully, it's the game where things come together a little bit.
And we said before, every game in the Premier League, you have to play for the right?
Mm-hmm.
Every team is capable of turning each other over. And Ipswich are shown to be no exception. But there can be no excuses now.
No. Yeah.
We've had City, Chelsea and Villa at home.
Yeah.
Arguably Champions League teams. 2 of them are in the Champions League. One of them probably should be and will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Villa I will probably put in the category as a winnable or drawable game at home.
Yeah. Especially first game of the season.
Yeah, and I think our performance wasn't great in that game. But there can only be so much in the way of excuses for not winning your home games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's wearing a bit thin with me now. We can't go 4th game in and not get a win.
No, I don't think there's any excuse.
No.
For Saturday.
And I'm sorry to do the Moyes fucking comparison because I know everyone's get fucking pissed off about it. The one thing I like about the stability that Moyes brought is we struggled for home form at the London Stadium up until Moyes, right?
Yeah.
Moyes had brought that sort of. You wouldn't go fortress up. I was going to say Upton Park. You wouldn't go fortress home ground.
Yeah.
But you go. Finally, we've got a home ground that isn't working against us.
Yeah.
Now we've only got points away from home. If you can't beat a fucking team like Ipswich at home after losing your first 3 home games, you're starting to get back into that territory of being vulnerable at home and not calling it home again.
Yeah, agreed.
And we're always going to have that relationship with that stadium, whilst the old Gulf fans are, on board.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. When is it? Saturday night?
Yes. Yeah.
Midnight.
Same time. Yeah.
Well, we'll do a preview show on Thursday. So we'll get a few of you involved. If you are watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. I think we just got to keep positive, haven't you? It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And we beat Ipswich. You look back and say it's been an all right start, nothing fantastic. Beat the Yids.
That's one way.
Top 6.
If we don't beat Ipswich, that doesn't give us any confidence going to Spurs.
We've got to have.
Spurs just won 3-0 at Old Trafford. There's the potential for us to get our fucking arses whipped.
Yeah.
And that's happened over there in the past.
Yeah, it's not nice.
No, I don't want to see that again this season.
Nah, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll have a good win at the weekend. Something tells me that we'll have a good win and go into the break in good spirits, and who knows, nick a point at the lane. Everything's looking rosy again.
Another international break, eh?
I know. Yeah.
Why do they do that? You start the season and you get the starter. It's just annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah. Anyway.
Really annoying. Right. I think we'll leave it there. Yeah.
We're done?
Yeah. Good result.
Nice chatting to you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. Kingy's away on the Sunshine Coast. Nath was at the game at the weekend. He's still away another couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, a little while.
Yeah, he's having a good holiday, isn't he?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Right, thank you all for watching. We'll see you Thursday. One thing left to say.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.